A capacity crowd of Monster Jam fans has packed in to one of the longest running venues on the Monster Jam circuit, the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These fans are going wild. They're crazy about Monster Jam, and the superstars are ready to burn the floor up. It's all next on Monster Jam. Welcome to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Scott Douglas with all the excitement of Monster Jam. You're going to see the racing championship and the freestyle highlights all right here. Let's jump right in to the racing bracket with this huge field. Here's how the drivers have been working their way through the field. Mark Schrader's Devastator getting into the Final Four, but being knocked off by one of the rising stars in the business, rookie Damon Bradshaw in the Air Force Afterburner. His opponent will be Adam Anderson, subbing for his father, Dennis Anderson, who's injured. A big thanks to Monster Jam announcer Darren Callan from Canada, doing a great job talking to Adam Anderson after that victory. Well, Richard Stevens will get us started in freestyle. This is a truck called Renegade, sharp-looking machine from one of the newer stars in Monster Jam, the Renegade. He will set the tone and put up the first number that everyone else will then have to try to beat. There are 3 judges. The judges each will score on a basis of 1 to 10, 10 of course being the best. And the top score from all 3 judges will be determined our freestyle champion here in Minneapolis. Now the judges are looking for a lot of things in freestyle. They want to see a lot of momentum. They want to really feel and hear the truck. They want to see the drivers hit every obstacle that's out there. They want to see them try and do donuts. They want to see big wheelies. They want to see them do everything they can. And of course, most judges are looking for big, huge air and that spectacular wow moment that just takes your breath away. That's what it takes to win. And oh yes, you must fill the 90 seconds on the clock. Renegade did not do it, and because of that, the scores will be very low, just a total of 7 for Renegade. Yeah, he got a nice wheelie to get it started, but really didn't give him a whole lot of action. Now Paul Strong in a truck called Martial Law, a native of Minnesota, has a bunch of friends and family in the crowd, and so Paul would love to turn in a big performance here in the Martial Law truck. Now that one car is sitting there for what they call a wheelie bump, and he tried to slap it into a wheelie, but really did not get the front end up to quite the elevation he needed to be able to pull off the wheelie. Still continuing to roll along, it's Martial Law. Early on in the freestyle competition from the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Another cold day in Minnesota. It gets that way here, but inside it is red hot with the Monster Jam action. Martial Law still with 45, well now clicking down near 40 seconds on the clock. He'll try some donuts here. Good job on the donuts, and that is one thing that will impress the judges, especially because he's able to do some things that the first competitor, Renegade, did not, and that is sure to pick him up some extra points. Nice positioning on that sky wheelie from Martial Law. Good job there as well. Just needs another 15 seconds to fill the clock, and that will help his score. Down to his final 10 seconds. Let's see if he can come up with something spectacular to close it out with. Not really able to get a wheelie, though, off that bump car. He'll try the roller hill, and there he does slap it into a nice slap wheelie. No question that Martial Law is going to take the lead. What do the judges think? Well, one judge kind of liked it, one didn't, one was in the middle. The result, a score of 17. That is now the number to beat. What beautiful positioning as we look back at that sky wheelie right there. It's a classic way to do it. Now here's Lee O'Donnell and Taz. Monster Jam fans have been used to seeing Adam Anderson drive this truck, and Adam indeed was supposed to drive Taz this year, but that was until his father broke his shoulder driving Gravedigger, and the decision was made that rather than take another Team Gravedigger driver and put him in Dennis's truck, Daddy said, I want to see my kid in my truck. And so Adam Anderson is driving Gravedigger here. And Adam reached out to a top off-road racer in the United States, Lee O'Donnell out of New Jersey. And he has been doing a great job filling in for Adam Anderson driving the Taz truck. Really getting wild, trying to crank it into some Tasmanian Devil donuts. Didn't quite get him going the way he wanted to. Still plenty of time, though, to be spectacular and impress these judges. Lee O'Donnell has been having a phenomenal year. got a major racing victory in this truck down in Florida at Orlando Citrus Bowl. Hey, great shot from the top of the Metrodome. Our camera is in the roof of the dome, and you can look right down on that donut. Lee O'Donnell looking to fill the clock. Certainly with an opportunity to grab the lead here, especially if he takes on this big stack. He's going for it. Oh, and look at the wheelie he comes out of it with. Tears the truck up in the process, but Adam Anderson's not going to mind that. He's going to say, Lee, you did a great job for me. Beautifully done. Certainly to this point in the competition, the most spectacular moment we've seen comes from Lee O'Donnell and Taz. And that is going to be a no doubt #1 score, at least for right now, because he's going to take the lead. And look at him close it out with more donuts. Nicely done. Great job by Lee O'Donnell and Taz, and the judges liked it. Again, one judge scoring a little lower than the others, but all the drivers ask is that they remain consistent, and so far, that judge is doing exactly that. It is a score of 22 for Taz, and that's now the number to beat. Next, it'll be our first look here on the Monster Jam television show at a Minnesota native, Chad Matheson in Freedom Force, and we may not see much of him. The truck shuts down immediately. All right, they let him refire it. They froze the clock to see if he can refire the truck. They will do that for anybody who stalls out. You will get a reasonable amount of time to refire the truck with the clock being frozen, and then you can continue with your run. And that's exactly what they're doing for the Freedom Force. Sharp-looking machine. Gets a nice wheelie out of that, and he'll continue on. Matheson, another driver competing close to home, and that puts a lot of extra pressure on because, you know, when the family and the friends and your sponsors and your buddies are all in the crowd, you really want to try and turn the wick up and give them a performance that they'll all be talking about. But that truck clearly is not at 100%. He just does not seem to have the full power underneath his control. It's just not giving him what he wants here. And right now he's just kind of driving around searching. I don't even know if he'll try to hit anything else, again, because there's clearly something wrong with the truck. Well, he's going to keep after it. Got to give him credit. But he just doesn't have the power to be able to climb that stack. Problems for the Freedom Force, and the scores will reflect it. It's a total of 10 for Chad Matheson. We take a look at it again, doing a nice job positioning on that first sky wheelie, but again, he just had problems keeping it running. Well, here is one of the most improved drivers in Monster Jam, Jim Benzik, driving Rolling Thunder out of Faribault, Minnesota. And for him, like a couple of the other drivers in this field, this really is his hometown event. And he really wants to turn it on. Another true family team. Jim travels all over the United States, racing and freestyling, and everywhere he goes, his entire family is alongside, helping out with every aspect of the Rolling Thunder Monster Jam team. Made his name in smaller arenas on the circuit that is referred to as the Thunder Nationals, where they run events in very small arenas without any dirt. They are very unique and exciting events. Jim was dominating that circuit for a while, and now he's got the opportunity to step up to the big stadiums, the big dirt courses, and he's doing a great job. Rolling Thunder with still plenty of time on the clock, and remember, it's critical that he fill that time to get the optimum score that the judges are willing to give him. He would love to get a big jump in here. He needs to hit one of these big obstacles, and he's going for it. Wow. And he is able to slap it into a wheelie at the end of that run as well, so that should impress the judges. Now he just has to go a couple more hits to fill out the clock. Looks like the truck is hanging in there. That is a tough piece, and Rolling Thunder will indeed fill the clock and put up a score that is likely to take the lead. Nice job from Rolling Thunder. We'll take a look. He's going to get one more hit in here. And again, the judges can score one move after the clock goes to zeros, and then the officials will require them to turn in their scores. Now, he needs to be to 22 to get the lead. That's the score that Taz put up a little bit earlier. Jim doesn't want to quit. He wanted to put on a show for his friends and family that are here in the Metrodome. Look at these donuts from the top of the dome. Outstanding job from Jim Benzik and Rolling Thunder, and indeed he will get the lead. It's a score of 23. We have a new leader, and it's the native of Faribault, Minnesota, Jim Benzik and Rolling Thunder. Well, now it's Christopher Roy and the High Anxiety. High Anxiety, another new face to many Monster Jam fans. It's just incredible. Well, and he just shut down immediately, so the judges do all they can do and just give him a score of 3. He was only able to make 1 hit, and you're not going to score much for that. But it is incredible, all the new trucks and new talent coming in to Monster Jam. Now here is a guy who really is a seasoned veteran, Mark Schrader, an awesome truck that he calls the Devastator. Mark also is not only just a great driver, he's a very talented talker as well. Does a great job analyzing Monster Jam. As a matter of fact, he is one of the commentators on the American television program for Monster Jam, and for years has been the main pit reporter live to the Monster Jam fans at the Monster Jam World Finals in Las Vegas. So multi-talented. Not only drive, he can talk about it too. Mark Schrader in the Devastator. Looking to get the momentum that he'll need to grab the lead. He would need to beat a score of 23, and that wheelie there will help him. Wow, outstanding move from Schrader. Going to need a little bit more, though, I think, to get the lead away from Benzik, a hometown favorite here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The fans and judges love the performance that Benzik put in Rolling Thunder, and Schrader looks like he's having a bit of an issue. He actually went off the dirt part of the course, which caused him to slow down, because if he does it for safety factors, the Monster Jam officials will shut his truck down. And that is one of the main safety factors at any Monster Jam event, is that the officials have the ability to shut down a truck should there be any problem by remote control. They can push a button and it just turns off the engine. And no driver wants that to happen. So Schrader, once he got out of bounds, actually had to let out of the throttle, and that cost him the chance to build up some valuable momentum. Winding down the run, he will fill the clock. Another strong wheelie, and that was certainly the highlight of his performance. Doubt it's enough to get the lead, and indeed it won't be. A good score, though, of 18 for Mark Schrader and the Devastator. Let's take a look at this again. Certainly an impressive slap wheelie from Mark Schrader. Well, now, as we like to say, business is about to pick up. The man they call Mr. Excitement, the former Monster Jam World Freestyle Champion, Jim Kohler in the Avenger. In case you're wondering, the body style of his choice, that is a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Jim Kohler, a native of Michigan, so he's another driver who is used to the cold conditions in the north part of the U.S. in the wintertime. Kohler won his Monster Jam World Championship back in 2003, actually really making history because he was the first, oh, look at this, over the big stuff. Kohler has no fear. But the point is, as far as the World Finals go, he was the first driver other than Gravedigger or Maximum Destruction to win a World Freestyle Championship. He kind of opened things up, and since then other drivers have been able to move to the top of the mountain as well. But Kohler was the first, other than the big two, to grab a coveted World Freestyle Championship, and looking to go for the donuts here. This may be the most impressive set of donuts we have seen. He's just not going to stop. He's making me dizzy. Jim Kohler really tearing it up in the Avenger. Wow, what a performance. You can see why they call him Mr. Excitement. They call him that for two reasons. He goes for more big air. One is his driving style, and two is when they do an interview with him, nobody is crazier in talking to the Monster Jam fans than Jimmy Kohler. And the scores reflected, big numbers. It's a 28. We've got a new leader. Look at these donuts on the replay. These were amazing. Jim Kohler takes the lead in the Avenger. Now here is his teammate, Chris Bergeron in Brutus. Nice start as he gets a big leap right at the beginning. One of the interesting things about the Avenger and Brutus team, yeah, they want to beat all the other competitors in Monster Jam when they're on the track, but really, their first goal is to knock off each other. They want team bragging rights. Oh, and Brutus isn't going to get it because he rolls it over way too early, and that will be a low score. Yeah, he wasn't out there very long. The total is just 7, and a very disappointed Chris Bergeron will take Brutus back. But that was a spectacular moment. Shot it up straight. He just got into kind of a no man's land between those two obstacles, and when the truck fell in there, there was nowhere for him to go. Maybe in the history of Monster Jam, we have never seen a more impressive rookie than this young man here. Damon Bradshaw in the Air Force Afterburner. What an interesting story Bradshaw is. More than a decade ago, he was one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name, in Supercross. A major international Supercross star flying his bike through stadiums all over the world. Then he retired at the top of the game, at his peak, was out of motorsports for about a decade, and then worked out an opportunity to come back and drive not only just a Monster Jam truck, but got a deal to represent the Air Force with a major Monster Jam team. And this may be his rookie year, but you can watch his growth each and every time out in the Air Force Afterburner. Oh, look at that, right through that camper they have put out onto the track, and he just shreds it. That camper no match for the power of the Air Force Afterburner as Damon Bradshaw continues to cement a no-doubt Rookie of the Year award. Hanging up the awards at the end of the season. The biggest shocker will be if Damon does not win the Rookie of the Year award. He has been that impressive in his first Monster Jam season. Still some time on the clock as Bradshaw wants to finish big. This should be a good number depending on how he finishes, but it's hard to see him getting over the amazing performance of Jim Kohler to take the lead here. Still, Bradshaw showing you he is already an upper echelon freestyler very early in his Monster Jam career. He's just a competitor. He's a winner, and he'll translate that from whatever motorsports he's been in before to Monster Jam. He goes for the best. He always tries to make the most spectacular move out there. Coming around as the clock winds down, and Damon Bradshaw fills the clock in the Air Force Afterburner. But not a run that's likely to take the lead. Still will let him finish among the top. Oh, a little bit of a fire underneath the truck there. They'll keep an eye on that as Bradshaw finishes it up, and it looks like that little flash fire we saw has extinguished itself. Everything okay, and the scores are pretty good. It is a total of 25 for Damon Bradshaw and the Air Force Afterburner, but the leader remains the Avenger and Jim Kohler. Boy, that was a hard nosedive. Bradshaw did a great job driving right out of it. Well, here's Ed Eckert bringing out full bore. Big Ford F-150 coming out. Eckert, another driver who's done a great job in some of the smaller arenas, getting the opportunity to move on to the big Monster Jam stage, the events that are televised in these big domes and stadiums. And Eckert was really fired up before the start of this event tonight, looking forward to get his truck and his driving style seen by a whole lot more folks, not just in front of this capacity crowd here in Minneapolis, but with the television cameras sending this event all over the world. And Ed Eckert having some problems, though. He's not able to get the kind of momentum up he's going to need to compete for the win here. And again, backing up is considered a negative by the judges unless you're making a move in reverse. Ed Eckert, with still some time on the clock, has a chance maybe to go for a big wow moment. But right now, can't really seem to get a good rhythm going. You want to go from obstacle to obstacle and keep something happening, but he was really unable to get that going. But again, in fairness to Ed, this is one of his first chances to compete on a big stadium circuit with all these huge obstacles. Believe me, he will get better and learn how to handle these big obstacles the more opportunities he gets. The score is a 10 for Ed Eckert and full bore. That means the Avenger still sits number 1, but his being on top could be short-lived because here comes the kid. The next generation in the most famous Monster Jam name in the world, Adam Anderson, and he's driving Daddy's Gravedigger. Again, if you just joined us to recount the story, this is Dennis Anderson's truck. Dennis, who started the Gravedigger some 25 years ago, was looking forward to his 25th anniversary tour, but in his first event earlier this year in this very same building, Dennis broke his shoulder. He is out of action for at least a few more weeks. So rather than put somebody else in his truck, he was able to convince his son, Adam, to give up his Taz ride, at least for the weeks that he needed him in Gravedigger. And Adam has just done an amazing job being able to fill in for his father while he's injured. Adam Anderson driving Gravedigger number 20. This is the 20th truck in the Gravedigger line, the newest, most state-of-the-art, everything on this truck, top to bottom, the best we can find. And Adam, not afraid to do just what Daddy told him, and that is to drive the wheels off of it, and in freestyle, burn that baby into the ground. And right now, he is, oh, look at this wheelie. He rides it almost the entire length of the Metrodome. That was certainly a wheelie that lasted an entire National Football League field, because the Minnesota Vikings play in this building, and we're not having monster jams here. Certainly, he ran the entire length of the football field. And Adam is just tearing things up. Look at him just destroy the piles. I mean, that's amazing the way he's pushing these things around. Great donuts from Adam Anderson right in the center of the floor. He's going to give Jim Kohler a run for the money. Kohler's got the lead with a 28. I don't know if he can hold it the way Adam is tearing this place up, though. One more movement, like cross-thread movement. He goes in, it goes over. What a performance from Adam Anderson. What do the judges think? The score's a 30. Your winner is Adam Anderson. Let's hear from him.
Adam Anderson, double down, a race win, a freestyle competition win. This has got to be huge.
Man, this is awesome. You know what? I was going for it. It was a good run. Truthfully, I didn't want to roll over. The torque converter locked up. They had messed the transmission up a little bit. The body's a little messed up, but we won.
Hey, man, you got to be proud of that deal. I was, it's kind of a big obstacle out here. Everybody kind of tiptoed around it. Adam said he was going to try to carve the side of it. He didn't quite have enough dirt there. It's a little soft. His game plan didn't work like he wanted to. It sure worked over here, but we're so proud of him, man. He rocked the house for Dad again. How about it one more time? Double down, Adam Anderson and Gravedigger!
Once again, our thanks to Darren Palin for doing a great job down there interviewing Team Gravedigger, the winners. Hey, you got to tip your hat to Jim Kohler and Avenger. He was over there with a big handshake for Adam to congratulate him. Avenger made Adam raise the roof to win this competition, and he did just a phenomenal job. Another incredible round of freestyles, and remember, you can always keep up to date on everything happening with results. You can shop online and so much more when you go to MonsterJamOnline.com or MonsterJamEurope.com. Glad to have you along, and we're going to look forward to bringing you more great Monster Jam action right here. See you next time.